Oh, I
Hello.
feel like I'm a little crooked here. Okay, we're good. Well, good evening, Ivete. How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there, living the dream on a Tuesday. Weather is beautiful here. How is it in New York?
I didn't leave my apartment all day today because I had a migraine. I literally haven't left my apartment today.
So it's
I
air conditioned, huh?
Yep.
Lovely and air conditioned.
Yep.
Well, I can't think of a better topic today. I feel like sometimes thimbles don't get their due. Um, I will say it is my favorite piece on the Monopoly board. It's what I always pick over all the rest is the thimble. So if you pick something else, let me know in the comments if you're a thimble person or if you're maybe the roadster. Yvette, what do you pick when you're playing Monopoly?
Do you know I can't even remember the last time I played Monopoly? I'm literally trying to think of what are the different pieces options. I have no memory of.
I only have eyes for thimble. Yeah, there's a shoe, there's a car. But yeah, I only have eyes for thimbles, which made me so excited for today's topic. I think it dovetails in nicely with our English paper piecing retreat that is coming up in September. So if you haven't yet registered, don't worry. We'll talk about it. We'll give you some more information. And we've got a QR code coming for you with that. But today is all about thimbles. They really are kind of the unsung hero of the quilting world. And I could remember digging through my mom's sewing box and there would be thimbles. I'm like, what's this? And throw it aside. Now I wish I paid more attention to those lovely thimbles. So what we've got for you today is a smorgasbord, a variety of thimbles. And we'll talk a little bit about which ones we like and why. Just know that there's so many different applications. Every different kind of hand sewing might require or you might prefer a different kind of thimble. So a lot of these come down to personal preference. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and I think that's like kind of the main thing about thimbles is that there's no right answer, right? So if you asked 10 people who were doing the same thing, like all doing EPP or all doing embroidery or all doing hand quilting, you'd get 10 different answers. Like, I put my thimble on my pointer finger. I put my thimble on my left index finger. I only use a thimble on the bottom hand. Like, there's so many different options and different ways and preferences, and there's no right answer. So that's why also there's so many different kinds of thimbles, which most people are only familiar with the like stereotypical like plastic one that goes over your finger. But nowadays there's got to be 24 different kinds of thimbles now, right?
There are. I would kind of put them, and this is my categorization, not like an official one, but I would put them in a couple of different groupings. And that is one, you've got your hard, very rigid thimbles. And that's something like you're thinking of if you're thinking of the Monopoly game, the metal thimble that are, they're around for a reason. They've been around forever. They also have now these silicone very rigid thimbles. These are great if you have beautiful nails that you don't want to put a thimble over. Yes.
Oh, and does that let you have long nails?
It lets you have long nails.
That
You
was
can put
always
it
a
right
problem
below.
with the kind that goes over your finger, right? Because then if you had a long nail, you were pushing against the nail. And so this
Exactly.
solves that problem. That's smart.
This solves that problem. And then if Ken, are we ready to go to the overhead? Producer Ken is manning the
Yeah.
the piece here. So you can see with this particular one, I've got a little opening that my nail can go through. If I flip it over, if I get real flexible here, we've got this very rigid part here. So it kind of brings the best of both worlds in that it's got some silicone, so it's really nice on your finger, but also this rigid part here is just as strong, just as rigid as metal, and it's got really deep, I call them pips, but I think that's what you put on dice, but the deep divots here.
Oh yeah, like so that yeah. What do you call this kind of thimble?
So this one is called the Nailed It Open Thimble, and I'll show you the packaging here. And so you get two thimbles. The other thing I like about this package is you get different sizes. So for me, these are the fingers that it would fit on. So in this one package, you get some options based on what finger you want to put it on. If you want to do like a thumb or a middle finger is a great option. You get some different sizes so that you can play around.
So is it like a small medium? Does it say?
This one is a medium large.
Oh,
And
okay.
these just come in one package here.
Combo.
There's just one size for this guy. The other thing we like about these ones is it's got these really deep divots here to get a hold of your needle. So I've got probably an oversized needle here just so we can see it on the camera. But it really holds the edge of your needle it kind of digs it in there, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we use these thimbles a lot for our shoe class, where you're sewing through the base of your shoe and also the sole of your shoe. You really need some leverage there.
And on which finger do you put it on for that use?
Whichever one you like the most.
Well,
Whichever one gives
you individually, how do you do it?
Me. Well, I'm a little weird with mine. I use the pointer finger of my dominant hand, my left hand, so I get the most leverage on it.
Wait, you're a lefty?
I'm a lefty.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It must be so much harder to sell all this stuff because some of it really doesn't work for lefties, right?
Some of it doesn't. Here's the interesting part is, if you're a lefty in the comments, be sure to let me know. Solidarity here. A lot of times lefties were forced to learn how to do things right-handed.
Right.
So I cut with my right hand. I bowl, not really applicable here, but I bowl with my right hand. But I do stitch with my left hand.
You write with your right or left?
I write with my left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, kind of a little bit of everything. Roxanne asked the question, do we have ceramic ones for hand quilting? We don't have any ceramic ones on here for display, but I would put those in the hard or the rigid category as we're going through the different kinds of thimbles. That's a great question.
People use ceramic ones, like actually use them. I thought they were only decorative.
That just goes to show you thimbles are so much personal preference.
Yeah.
But they are fun to collect, that's for sure. So this is the category of the hard thimbles. There are also thimbles kind of like this where you get a silicone base. Oh, yeah, lefty. Tomorrow is National Lefties Day. So for anyone who celebrates, happy National Lefties Day. And I love that. Kathy bought her grandson left-handed scissors. We have to promote lefties. That's right. Keep them lefty.
Yeah. And like
in any event, this one combines.
Right? Like those are really hard if you're a lefty. Right.
Oh, what is hard?
Can openers. My mom's a lefty and she's always complaining,
They are always meant for right-handed. So you either have to get someone who you really love to open the cans for you or learn to do it right-handed. Yes. So this is another hard tipped thimble. It's got a silicone base here, so a little bit nicer on the fingers, but we can see maybe here, it's got a metal tip to it.
Yeah, so that's nice because then it's got more flexibility when you're moving your finger, but the part you're pushing is still hard.
Exactly. Yep, the part you're pushing is hard. Nope, we're good. We're golden. The other category that I would put thimbles in is pure silicone. And what you see most often in the silicone ones are, and they can do double duty. So kind of we want to go to overhead, in that you have, these are designed mostly to give you a little bit of grip when you are pulling that through. So you can use this might be a little bit smaller than I would normally use here, but you can use this to help grip. So I would have the needle against the silicone here and just use these together to pull that through. And it really does give me some grip on that needle, especially when I'm using something a little bit smaller than this giant needle here. Another one that I really, really love, and if my dear sweet mom, if she's watching too, she kind of turned me on to these two, is it's a pair. And you can see that these come in the same package. One is bigger and one is smaller, and it's designed to be used on these. There's also some little nubbins in there, and these just give you a little bit extra when you're pulling those needles through.
That makes sense.
Another nice thing that I like about silicone is, I was telling you, double duty. These are great to protect your fingertips against hot things. So if you're pressing some fabric, use these to hold up or pick up that fabric, and it gives you a little bit of protection. Not their designated use. I wouldn't touch your iron with these, but if you just have some warm fabric, it'll give you a little bit more protection. So I see we're getting lots of comments here. I think thimbles are a very hot topic.
It's because there's so much variety and people use them so differently, right? So like people have opinions.
They do. And let's see here. Yes, we did have a comment about like the little rubber grippers if you're in like an office job where you have to go through papers,
Oh yeah.
the little gripsies. Yeah. The last category that I would put thimbles in are these ones, and this one is my favorite. I'm gonna put this where I normally put it, and then I'll talk about it.
Oh yeah, the thimble pad.
The thimble pad. And so there are a bunch of different kinds. Yes, I see. I see you, Yvette.
That's the one I use the most.
It is. Why do you like it the most?
Because I can put it exactly where I need it. So like a lot of times the thing that's bothering me is I'm getting a callus like on the side of my finger, as opposed to the ones that go on the top of your finger. Like I probably don't do it right. Like I probably should be pushing with the front of my finger, but I'm not. I'm pushing with the side of my finger, and then I get a callus right here. So then I stick the thimble pad right where I need it. And the thing that goes over wouldn't be able to reach that funny spot.
Yeah, there's in all these thimbles, there's none that I have that will reach this part on my finger. And so that's where these thimble pads come in. These are a great one. I think it's by the Colonial Needle Company.
Yes.
They work a dream. They are also reusable. So you notice I just put one on my finger. When I'm done stitching, I can take this off and stick it someplace where it's not going to be eaten by a pet or, or I could use it later. I can grab it and then I could re-stick it wherever I need. So you can reuse these a bunch of times.
Whatever my project is in, like if it's in a zipper tote, I'll stick it on the zipper. If it's in a box, I'll stick it to the lid of the box. And you can reuse them, I don't know, 10 times, 12 times before they lose their stickiness.
At least. And they come in a package of, like I've got in this one, 12 right here. So this will get me through a lot of projects.
Yeah, they last a long time.
They really do. And what they do is they just give my finger some protection. So you can see my needle here as I'm using the side of my finger to push that through the fabric. It gives me a lot of protection. These are really very thick. Say that again?
Is it made of cork?
I don't believe so. Let me read this real quick. Let's see here. Mine don't feel like cork, and I think this might be some kind of trade secret. It doesn't
doesn't actually say what it's made of.
Yeah.
The ones I have are the knockoff kind, and these aren't as thick as the real ones. I'm noticing.
I'm so sorry. It's right here in this giant orange corner. Real leather.
Oh, leather. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are plastic. These are
gotcha.
They're very stiff, and those are not.
No, this one's really very flexible, which is great because then it can absorb. Oh, I lost my thread here, but it can absorb the pressure of that needle going through. And like I am pushing down, it's not going through the thimble pad, and I can't really feel any poking there at all.
Yeah, it works pretty well, but it's not as thick. This is the one from Nifty Notions.
Gotcha.
It's the knockoff one of that. That's the good one. I got this for free at Market. Who knows how long ago? But it works.
It works, right?
But it's definitely thinner. Those are better.
Yes, these ones are quite lovely. A really nice feel too. So real leather on that one. So those are basically the three big categories of thimbles. Now, of course, there are going to be subcategories of thimbles. If you're looking at the sticky kind, you could get a full piece of tape, so a little bit wider if you're looking for that. These come in different colors, and
there's the clear ones like this.
There's the clear ones like that. And what do you use those ones for?
Honestly, I don't even know why I have these. But I'm pretty sure when I bought them, they were marketed as being for embroidery as opposed to hand quilting. Not that you can't use them for other things, but they're used the same way as these. They're just a bit bigger and they're clear.
Gotcha. Yep.
I literally have no idea why I own these.
by the same brand, they have stickers
Yes.
that look kind of like that give you a little bit of gription. So if you want to use it on your fingertips, just like this, to help pull, gives you some traction on that needle.
These are kind of grippy. I wonder if they're actually meant to be grippy.
Could be double duty for sure.
I don't know.
Yes.
These are definitely the ones from Colonial, though.
Nice. So they got some good sticking power.
Yeah.
Yep. And I see that Carol tried a bunch of different kinds of thimbles, and that's 100% what we're trying to get across here is not every thimble is going to work for every project, and not every thimble is going to work for every person doing the same project.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the product. Mostly this was just going to be an educational thing, but in the shop today, we came up with an idea. And because thimbles are so personal, we put together a curated thimble pack. So Ken, if you want to put the QR code up there, if you wanted to give our favorite thimbles a try, you are going to get one or two, go to the QR code up there. Thank you, Yvette.
Excellent.
You are going to get one or two, depending on the category of each of the three groupings that you talked about. You are going to get our favorite thimble pads from the Colonial Needle. You'll get the gripper pullers, not the one that I'm trying out today, but it'll be these same ones. And a couple of the rigid thimbles. In addition to that, one of my favorite, not a thimble tool, are these little light up.
Oh, yeah.
I got so many lights going on here you can't see, but a little light up needle threader. Anytime you're doing hand stitching, it's just so much more helpful to have a needle threader. And who wouldn't want a super cute one like this little beetle?
I can never find anything, so this is a miracle that I found it.
Nice. And we didn't even plan that, guys. It just so happens.
I happen to have one because I think they're adorable. And my ability to thread needles has definitely gotten worse as I've aged. I had to get these are progressives, right? Like distance and close. And I didn't need an increase in my distance, but I did need an increase in my reading prescription. And it's for threading needles specifically. Yeah.
Well,
it works.
Oh, you can see the light so well on your computer.
Like that's pretty amazing that this light hasn't died yet.
It lasts a long time. And I don't think we use nearly as much light as we should when we're doing hand work.
I probably should remember to actually use this thing that I own instead of struggling to thread my needles. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So with the thimble pack, you will get a bonus needle threader. There are a couple of different colors, so the color will be a surprise, but it is just our way to help you on your hand stitching journey to get the thimble pack. And again, we hope that you'll find that our favorite needles, or our favorite thimbles rather, work for your services. Now, I will say that there's going to be 3 different sizes. A lot of these thimbles, you can tell, come in different sizes here. We've got the small pack, the medium pack, and the large pack. Not to worry, because for some of the thimble packs, like the Nailed It, the open ones, you do get multiple sizes in there. But it's really for some of the more the thimbles that kind of sit on your finger. We need to know what size. So think of just the finger that you'd be using the most. I often use my index finger. It's got the most power. A lot of people use like a thumb or sometimes a middle finger as well.
I've seen people use their ring finger too.
Their ring finger. Oh, that's interesting, because for me, that's my weakest finger.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, you would think your pinky would be your weakest. No?
No, maybe I drink a lot of tea. That's why my pinky gets a workout. I'm not sure.
Very heavy pinky.
That's right.
So yeah, in thimbles, I'm usually the smallest, whatever size, because I have teeny hands. But like normal people, I think most people are mediums. And then you tend to know if you have small fingers or larger fingers. So you would guess if you're like a medium or a large. I always have to buy the smallest. When I used to be married, I'm divorced for a very long time, but when I got my wedding ring made, they had me write a disclaimer that I wasn't going to return it because it was such a small size that they didn't believe me that was the real size. Like, I don't know, 4.5 or some ridiculous child size.
Really?
Yeah, I literally had to sign a little thing saying, this is really the size I want you to make.
Wow.
So, smallest, anything finger related.
Yes, and I'm the opposite end of that spectrum. My ring size, I think, is like an 8 or a 9, something like that. And I always get the biggest thimbles. I've got big lumberjack hands, I suppose. But the biggest thimbles work really well for my hands. So yeah, it just kind of works. So that is the thimble pack. Oh, I did see that. Um, who I can't see whose comment that is though.
Yeah, they don't have a real name because they're on YouTube. But
On
if you
YouTube.
want me
Okay.
to respond to them, I can respond to them.
Yeah, if you don't mind, let's take that conversation offline. But I just want to know, I see you and I hear you. And I think Tammy
Oh,
says I was that size of a ring
yeah, I just saw that
long
comment.
ago.
Somebody just said their fingers used to be teeny and they aren't anymore. So yeah.
Boy, that just happens with growing up, doesn't it? Getting wiser.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think probably mine aren't as small. I mean, that was a long time ago, but yeah, I just have tiny hands.
Just tiny hands. So, and it's genetic.
Hands.
Yes. So that is Thimbles today. The whole reason why we're excited and cuckoo bananas about Thimbles is our English paper piecing retreat that is coming up. So we are just kind of sliding into, I guess, the housekeeping items, because really the goal was just to bring you this information on Thimbles and all the different kinds.
Yeah. So this live came out of me and Allison actually having this conversation. Like, oh, when we're getting ready for this English paper piecing, what do you do? Do you use a thimble? And I don't use a thimble when I'm doing English paper piecing. And I think you said you do, right?
I do. I use this thimble right here.
You use the one on
Right.
stuck
Yep.
to the side.
Exactly where it's at. I could go home and do some English paper piecing right now. I'm ready to go.
And are you using it when you're joining the pieces together? That's when you're using your thimble? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And you do a whip stitch, right?
I do.
So can you mime what the thimble is helping us for?
So let's pretend these are my papers right here. They're all together. I can try to do this. But I would hold my pieces together. Let's pretend this dark fabric is my two pieces, right sides together. And what I would do is, this would of course be closer to my face, but I would stick my needle in here and then I would use my thimble to help me push that needle through. And then go back around the bottom and do it again.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. I guess this is just two pieces of fabric, but yeah, so that's kind of what I would do, is use this to whip stitch it through.
What I would be doing, and I'm pretty sure I push this way, like I grip like this and then push.
Oh,
I don't use the side of a finger or the front of the finger. Who knows why? I probably picked up bad habits when I was 7 and learned how to do this, and never learned another way to do the same thing.
It's funny that you say that, because I had assumed that that's why I need a thimble on this finger, is because I picked up bad habits. And so all this to show you, I hope this puts your mind at ease that there is multiple right ways to do something. And I would say very few wrong ways.
I agree. As long as the result is working, I would never correct someone. I've taught so many people to do all these different techniques and grab it however it makes sense. And I used to teach people to knit, and it was the same thing with knitting, right? Some people were holding their needle in a funny way, and if that works for you, go ahead, right?
Absolutely. Yes. So that is going to be, I guess, kind of the moral of the story with our English paper piecing retreat. We will give you videos and reference items for how to do something, how you could do something. Yeah. But really, the idea is to make it your own, to do it what works for you and do what way works for you. So with the English paper piecing retreat, part of your package that you'll receive is the Flossy Tea Cakes book. And I don't happen to have mine right next to me.
Mine's in the living room. Hold on.
Okay. But you'll get the book. The reason we chose the Flossy Tea Cakes book is because it is one of the most comprehensive guides to English paper piecing that we have seen. We got a lot of books that we tested out, beautiful, in preparation for this retreat. And this one we thought was the best. I think it's a pretty good mix between the history of English paper piecing, getting some inspiration from some of those original works, those older works, and then also how to do it. Just a how-to guide of some of the things that we didn't see in a lot of other books. Like it goes into detail on basting and sewing curves. Sometimes you get maybe a paragraph on that. This you get a full couple of pages. So it's a really good reference guide.
Yeah, I'll find that section. I think this book is going to be such a good resource for people to have even after the retreat. You can always refer back to it and see all the good. They have really good pictures, like step by step.
They have great pictures.
Steps.
Yes. Step-by-step steps. So even if you can't attend our virtual retreat, it will be in the privacy of your own home, so you can wear your pajamas and your footy slippers. Go ahead and scan that QR code, because at that link, it's not only the English paper piecing retreat, but it's also you could purchase the book that we're using. If you can't join the retreat and you want the book, you want to kind of join the fun, go ahead and click on that. In addition to the retreat book, you'll also get papers and some materials to start an adventure of your own. And I am so excited. I just heard from a fabric manufacturer, and I know what the special surprise is going to be in the box.
I don't even know.
You don't even know. It is fabulous. It was something that we originally couldn't get, that the fabric manufacturer just kind of kept for themselves, but through amazing powers of persuasion and a very fabulous fabric rep, we were able to get one. So
now I really want to know what it is.
I know. There'll be a very special surprise. It'll be a very special fabric surprise in your boxes.
Cool.
Yeah. I think I'm going to keep it a surprise.
Yeah, no, don't tell me. I want to know, but don't tell me. We should mention that the retreat is the weekend of September 20th. So it starts on Friday and goes through Sunday. We are online pretty much all day. One of us will be, me, Allison, and Andrea will be hosting. One of us will always be online, but we do not expect attendees to be online the whole time. We expect you to come and go, whatever your schedule is, and then, hang out with us. We will have a couple of scheduled times for everybody to meet up and do show and tell. And all the tutorial videos are going to be available ahead of time. About Monday before the retreat starts is when you'll get access to those. So if you happen to be somebody who wants to prepare ahead of time and pre-watch the videos, you can do that, but there's no requirement to do that. It's up to you how you want to do the weekend.
Yes. I would be more of a fly by the seat of my pants kind of a gal.
Me too.
I would just show up, ready to sew, watch the videos then.
But we've had people who came with a plan and had even pre-cut their fabric, and they had an entire top finished by the end of the weekend. So if you're that style of person, do what makes you happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is the English paper piecing retreat. One other piece of housekeeping is today is the last day to get Club Gotham at the discounted rate. So I wanted to bring that out to you. If you are watching us live on Tuesday, you've got until midnight Eastern time for that special rate of Club Gotham. We are offering it at $75, which is $50 off what it normally is. Plus, what I love the most is you get to renew at that rate. So
Right.
If you like what we're offering, that $75 rate is yours until you decide to cancel. So that's going until tonight.
That's cool.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with Club Gotham, we had a whole show on it last week. So go ahead and check that out on YouTube. It's a great way to get that information. But in essence, it gets you discounted, or it gets you free shipping at a lower minimum, $35. It gets you a discount on fabric. It gets you access to classes, and it gets you fun little surprises. And like I say, we've got the best fabric reps in the business, so we get lots of surprises to give out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad you're doing this promotion, and it's good for people to get back into the swing of things. And we're also hard at work behind the scenes getting all your products up and everything. So there'll be more stuff to buy soon.
I promise you, yes. Every day we're getting closer and closer, but just stick with us for a little bit longer. If you want a sneak peek of what there is to offer or how much there is to offer, I think the Tiny Apple Fabric website would be a good feel for what we plan to offer. And I love Sandra's comment. She's not the kind of nerd who prepares.
Sandra is a nerd. She's a lawyer.
She is. Oh my God. It's very small, and my eyesight is very tired at the day.
Like
you know what, Sandra?
Nerd, professor and lawyer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you are the nerd in the best way possible, though.
She's also wonderful and a really nice person.
Nice. Well, here I thought we had some solidarity, but not with Sandra. She prepares, and we just come rolling in.
My preparation would probably be like finding a bunch of fabric and making piles, and then probably not even using those once it actually came to the weekend.
Your preparation is your preparation. And yeah.
My favorite part is always picking fabric. So
that is the great part. Yeah, of that. So I think we've got the housekeeping things done. Producer Ken, are you seeing any questions about the Thimbles or Club Gotham?
No, nobody's asking any questions.
No, look at this. Another perfect show where we just preemptively answered everyone's questions.
Yeah, we were so thorough. That was it. Yes.
I don't know. I love geeking out about Thimbles. It's one of those things.
I mean, we probably could talk about Thimbles for another hour, but we would need more demos, right? Like more, yeah. And I don't have, I almost never use a thimble except for the sticky one, the thimble pad one. So I don't have all these different thimbles to show because I never use them, right?
Yeah.
Like, to some extent, I learned how to do all this stuff without a thimble. And then when I found out there were thimbles, I was like, okay, but why? Right? So
did you just power through? You just dealt with the callus?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, in hindsight, it is a little odd that I never knew there were so many. I mean, before I owned a quilt store, I mean, when I first learned how to do this stuff, like I wasn't even aware that there was all these different thimbles.
Mm-hmm. There absolutely are. Well, I would love to talk a little bit more about the leather thimbles. So these ones, you can see the dot is pretty small. So depending on what you're using, that may be enough. There are other similar products that are more like a tape. If you think of a roll of like Scotch tape about that thick, that you can use along maybe your whole side of your finger or wrap it around. The dots generally come in this size. I haven't seen any that were too much bigger, except for maybe those oval ones that Ivete showed. But there are some like tape. They're tape. And so you can cut those to whatever size. Another option that's kind of an off-label use for it is moleskin. Ivete, are you familiar with moleskin?
I think I saw a demo that there was a new one at market and a bunch of people were talking about it, and it like wraps around your finger. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. You can also find it in like the pharmacy in the first aid section. So if you have a something on your heel or on your foot, you hurt yourself, right? You can use that moleskin. What I've heard, because this is leather, so it's a little bit thicker, a little bit tougher, so you just need the one layer of it. If you're using something like moleskin, generally I've heard of people doubling it up because you can poke through it pretty easily. So if you're using anything off-label, just be super moleskin, brilliant, nice, I love it. Just be a little bit mindful if you're using something off-label, because it's not really intended for the pressure of a sharp, pointy needle to go through. So be gentle until you know how it's going to react.
And depending on what needle you're using, some of them, the back, because you're pushing from the back, obviously, you're not pushing where the sharp side is, but some of the backs of some of these kinds of needles can be quite sharp. So you have to be careful.
Absolutely. And then the half finger rounds, I'm less familiar with those, the half finger rounds. Yeah. But it just goes to show you there is a thimble for every person.
And then when you get, like, if you were to get into specialty thimbles, like there's Sashiko thimbles, right? Those are the ones that sit here. so that because like the traditional way to push sashiko is like this, so the thimble sits down here, right? Like
Kind of like a ring, right? Like a backwards ring.
it goes like on your finger, and then there's like a metal bit that sits here, and you push the needle with that. So like that kind of thimble is very specific, and I'm sure there's all kinds of other super specific thimbles too. But for the purposes of this call, we wanted to cover the more general purpose thimbles. So we're not trying to cover every thimble that exists, but the ones that we're more familiar with and the ones that our customers like the most, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as we're wrapping up, we tease this with the best thimble. So Ivete, I have to ask you, I know it's a personal decision. Every person has to make for themselves.
Right.
What is the best thimble according to you?
For me, it's the thimble pad, the sticky one that can go in whatever spot needs to be protected.
Yep. I would agree. It's very versatile.
I also like that it's not as bulky and it doesn't fall off your fingers. Like the kind that goes on your finger, every once in a while you'll be like, and it goes flying across the room, right? Or maybe only to me because I'm like that. But this one is stuck to you and you like kind of can't mess it up, you know?
As someone who is also very animated, you are right. This one stays put no matter what you do.
Oh, yeah.
I think if since you already picked the finger pad or the thimble pad, yes.
You know what? I'm pretty sure this is Andrea's favorite thimble too, if I remember correctly. Is she also, well, to be fair, she doesn't like doing handwork, so she's not a good example of what people do with thimbles because she basically is like, oh, if it's handwork, give it to Ivete, right? But when she does handwork, she usually uses this thimble.
Yep. And it's really very like I don't feel that I'm wearing it.
Right.
So I could easily see, maybe it's a little embarrassing, is to go run an errand with a thimble pad on my finger. But if you've got a thimble like this, like you know you're wearing it.
Yeah.
The thimble pad is my first choice, but if I had to pick a very close second, it is going to be the nailed it here. Despite the name,
likes the best. When she's showing thimble, she shows that kind.
Yeah. It is, I think, really very comfortable, and it's got this nice, very protective, hard, rigid plastic with the very deep grooves, like I say, to make sure your needle doesn't slip.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll probably ask them the next win.
Oh, okay. So we've got a question. When is the next Thread Talks?
Oh, next month. Yeah.
Yep. So Thread Talks are a monthly event. We have them all scheduled out throughout the month. So if you haven't yet registered for the Thread Talks, I think next month, if I'm not mistaken, is Rebecca Cartwright. And I'm very interested to hear her stories about her not so inspirational story of quilting and her experience with disability and how she has, kept quilting and crafting in her life.
Yep.
So that one, I see that there's a link to it. It is September 3rd and I'm going to need help with the time, 8 to 9 Eastern. Yeah. So a great time. And just a reminder, if you are a Club Gotham member, you get registration to the Thread Talks completely for free. So you get free entrance into all those.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
It's been a fabulous one. We will see you next week at Live with Gotham Quilts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another great show. We're very excited about that topic as well, which will be a surprise.
No one said same bat time, same bat place, so I got to say it.
Oh, I can. Please do.
Same bat time, same bat place.
We'll see you then. Thanks, Ivete.
Bye. Have a good night, everybody.